Welcome everybody to the Join the League season number 4. These are the Division 1 and 2 playoffs between Compass Gaming and 4 anchors plus C Captain. It is going to be a best of 3 series. If you lose, you're down to lower bracket, so it's a double elimination, so you will get a second chance here as well. But coming into this, for ASC, yes. They must be the favorites for sure, but we're of course HeflaTV. I'm Coach and I'm joined by Blackadder Man. How you doing?
Not too bad, lad. Not too bad. It's been an interesting week so far. This is one of the games I've been looking forward to. I know I've said before I have very much enjoyed previously casting with for games with Matuberman and such, but for ASC, hands down one of my favorite teams to cast these days. They just play so aggressively. I'm not sure if that's tricksy more than anything, but it's fun to watch at least.
Oh, it definitely is, man. Unfortunately, I really have no idea about the current Compass Gaming lineup. I used to cast Compass Gaming a hell of a lot when they were the team that is now Hellraisers. So after that, after the team went to Hellraisers and there's a new Compass Gaming, I have just no idea at all how their performance is. So I really don't know what to expect from them. But I mean, Trixie Squad, they definitely should be the favorites here.
I should think so, yeah. I mean, they may have not had the best run lately, but as I've been discussing with one or two friends of mine, and actually my co-caster from back at Assembly, this team have potential. For ASC, they may have hit a rough patch, but if they stick together, they have potential.
Well, they most certainly do, but looking at the draft, Vengeful Tidehunter picked up by 4 anchors, whereas Compass Gaming, Ogre and Razor. So kind of a standard beginning. Maybe some picks that we wouldn't see that much. For example, Razor has been kind of forgotten for the most part. Ogre Magi also got nerfed a little bit with the recent patch now. How big do you think actually reducing the Fire Blast range, for example, is? What do you think?
Well, considering 6.83, I'm not all too sure if first pick Ogre Magi is actually going to work. I mean, reducing the range and the damage, I believe, on the Fire Blast, that's a pretty hard thing to swallow, considering they've already drafted into a Venge and a Tidehunter. Sure, Razor didn't get hit by any buffs or nerfs, but no matter how I look at this, I feel like 4ISC have got a slight edge here. Then again, there are a lot of changes in 6.83, and I'm going to say we're going to need at least 3 weeks of competitive play before teams are comfortable. Because there are a few heroes that I've been wanting to see in competitive for a long time. Juggernaut in a full carry role, which he can now do. He's got that base attack increase from having 6 extra agility as well as the damage at the start. It's one of the reasons he wasn't picked too much. I mean, there's also the buffs on Tusk. He's now quite nice. 10 seconds of terrain control with the Ice Shards. It's quite an effective thing. That's more than a Fisher from an Earthshaker.
Well, it is up to 7 seconds, so not quite 10, I guess, but
I
it
thought it was 10, though it got buffed from 7 to 10.
no, it got from 5 to 7. At least that's what the patch notes say. I'm not too sure.
Mm.
Maybe the patch notes were a little bit off, but it's still, I mean, 7 seconds is long enough just because in some places at least, it can just block you more than a Fisher could. So it's definitely nice. Maybe not as easy to land either properly. It really depends on like where it actually properly connects with the target and whatnot. But Tusk in the right hands definitely is a strong enough hero to be picked up. So maybe we're gonna see it here. Who the hell knows? So far though, nothing different. I mean, even looking at the bans in the second phase, Death Prophet Faceless Void by Compass, Temper Assassin Centaur by 4 anchors. I guess Temper Assassin usually is not that big of a ban, or at least it used to be, but now with the changes of you being able to just get hit into the refraction yet still be able to blink out, that's huge.
Definitely, definitely so. And I'm just trying to contemplate here the logic behind some of these bans. I mean, do you really feel that the Slark from Compass was a worthwhile ban after the nerf?
I mean, I think the nerf just pretty much was non-significant almost. What is like 20 damage from a pounce when it's maxed out? Don't think it makes that big of a difference. I mean, your Shadow Dance, you're just as slippery as you were before, so uh,
It's not just the nerf on him though; it's the buff to everyone else. It's a balancing patch. I think Malini put it best. It's a power shift slightly increasing. More heroes got buffed than got nerfed.
Oh, that is true enough. It's
Uh-oh.
well, it's an anti-mage. My God. Well, anti-mage. I guess there are more boring heroes to watch.
I don't know. I honestly wouldn't say this one's going to be boring. This is going to be an anti-mage played by Matuberman. Now, I have seen him do some interesting shenanigans. Um, One of the ones that springs to mind, I actually mentioned to him on Twitter, is like, what the hell, man? He went Refresher Anti-Mage. And it worked.
Well, I guess it depends heavily on what you're up against as well. If you're like up against heroes that burn their own mana pools, so you don't even actually have to right click all that much, I guess it can work. Or I don't know, double Manta style for more mana drain plus 2 mana void after that. I don't know. Oh wow, that's actually crazy. Or how far ahead were they at that point? Or did that item itself like kind of decide the game? Or
It sort of did, because he went Refresher on Anti-Mage, not so much for the refreshing abilities, but to refresh his Abyssal Blade.
well, it's you do what you have to do, I guess. Refresher or one any hero can be the correct choice, depending on what items you have. For example, if you have Hex, like anybody who has Hex, Refresher will just be fine for double Hex, for example. So, can work, but looking at the next set of picks, Rubik, Gyrocopter for Compass Gaming. I guess Rubik is nice to be able to steal the Ravage. I guess it's decent-ish to steal the Blink of Anti-Mage as well for their own mobility. Especially if you should get your hands on the Aghanim Scepter, stealing Dream Coil will be nice. I do believe it's only a 2-second cooldown now when you can steal spells if you have the Aghanims. And, well, the Puck, just nice teamfight control between the Puck and Tidehunter. Compass Gaming is going to find it extremely hard to actually teamfight into 4 anchors.
Yeah, it'll be very hard to team fight into 4 anchors at this case. They've got Ravage, they've got Anti-Mage with all of his damage. Combine onto that the control of a Vengeful Spirit who can just swap out a target within the Dream Coil for a guaranteed stun. It's going to be fairly nasty to fight into this, even when you have a Razor with backup of an Ogre and a Rubik. Then again, Rubik could technically make this work if we can steal get some stolen Ravages. This will be perfect. But Gyrocopter, this is going to be the interesting one that I'm going to be watching with keen interest. I mean, the changes to Gyro are quite interesting.
I mean, that was one of my favorite patch notes to read. The homing missile being able to force staff it. I'm not too sure how well it's actually going to work out or how much it's going to play into it at all. But it's just a really fun change.
I should think fun change, yes, but it's more the ultimate. The ultimate is the change on Gyro that I find interesting the most. I mean, they've rescaled the damage slightly. They've made the range much bigger. He can blanket a decent area within a team fight now.
Well, it's especially now that, I mean, last time around or with the last ultimate that he had, it was like, if they get hit by the first one, you're just fine. Now it's like you want them to get hit by the second one as well, because the slow coming out from that is just massive.
Indeed it is, and with the Legion Commander right now, I'm actually thinking we're going to see an aggressive tri-lane and then a Gyro safe lane, possibly. Gyro versus Tide. I actually think the Tide will have a slight advantage if you can get those points up in Kraken Shell early, but the Gyrocopter should still be able to control the lane, whereas a tri-lane Legion, that can do some pretty nasty damage to the Anti-Mage's farm. Good stuns, good control, and then you've got Legion who'll be free farming up until she gets Duel, and once she's got Duel, even Anti-Mage is going to have a rough time.
Yeah, I would think Compass is going for an aggressive tri-lane of sorts. Whether it be with Razor or with Gyrocopter, both of them could go into the mid lane as well, I guess, or it might be like Gyro, Rubik, Ogre, aggressive try with Legion mid possibly and Razor being against the Tidehunter, for example. They have a couple of ways they can run this, but I think some form of aggressive tri lane will come out almost certainly from Compass Gaming.
Yeah, indeed. I'm in complete agreement to that. And we're looking for a jungler or a support to now go for ASC. And right now, when I look at these lineups, I was thinking Enigma, but then I remember they've got the Rubik on Compass's side, so I don't think we're going to see the Enigma Black Holes. Something else that can back up the Vengeful Spirit and the Anti-Mage in a defensive try that can still do a good amount in these fights. Shadow Shaman wouldn't go awry. Witch Doctor could work. I actually like the idea of a Witch Doctor in this draft. But he's unfortunately banned out in the last one by Compass.
Yeah.
It would have been a good fit as well, thinking about it.
Yeah, Witch Doctor definitely would have been nice. Just Death Ward would have gotten so much value probably with Puck and Tidehunter being there for the control there. But unfortunately not to be Compass Gaming to snatch it out before, so
There
for
we go.
AC, I guess.
Support Alchemist.
Do you want to run like too many melees though? In a tri lane when you're kind of, at least you have to be expecting an aggressive tri, but they do go for a Sand King, so...
They go for a melee anyway. The reason I only mention Alchemist is if you even now when it still has a support, you get a value point into Grievel's Greed. It can really add up in the long run. Just that 1 point in Grievel's Greed early as a support. When you're prioritizing your stun and your spray, it's doing good amounts of work for the Vengeful Spirit. You're stacking negative armor, which the anti-mage is going to love, and so will the Puck when it comes to right clicks. But the Sand King option here, another Blink Dagger hero that can do a devastating amount of work, assuming Rubik can't get a good steal. I mean, Sand King I like the idea of. They have a lot of front-facing damage, Ravage, Epicenter, Vengeful Spirit Magic Missile swap, guaranteed stun from a swap and a Dream Coil, silences from the Puck. It's a good all-around build from 4ASC.
But how much time will the Sand King actually have to stack and farm up his jungle?
Well, I remember Buffy playing the Sand King a few times back at the assembly, and it worked reasonably well. Assuming his jungle isn't too heavily warded, he could have his dagger online by 12 minutes quite easily.
But if Compass Gaming are coming for an aggressive tri lane, it's probably like whether you try to farm up the Sand King, just have him stack and farm, or you try to just help out the anti-mage, whereas I guess in Vengeful Spirit and Sand King, how much can they accomplish in such a lane in the first place?
Vengeful Spirit and Sand King, if they can get a good stun to start things off, they can accomplish a hell of a lot. But the problem is their range on their stuns isn't that brilliant. The Sand King, especially at level 1. However, looking at these lanes coming out of KPG, they're already rotating down. They have 4 wards total, a sentries and a observer ready to put into this jungle. And Matuberman's going to see this immediately. He's going to have to be a bit more careful now and might have to back away. But I suppose we should get the formalities underway. Let's introduce the team, shall we?
Yes, I'll take Compass Gaming just because they have one guy with Russian letters, and you would have no idea probably what those mean, but for them, Legion Commander played by Volosha, with Vladimir playing the Gyrocopter, Sasha on the Rubik, with GP674 on the Ogre Magi, leaving the last to be Demonic on the Razor.
How did you say that was pronounced? Voloshka?
Volosha should be, yes.
Volosha.
Volosha, yes.
Okay,
Something
I'll
like
try
that.
to remember that. On the flip side of the coin, for the 4 anchors and sea captain, we've got Matuberman playing the anti-mage. We've got Buffy on the Sand King, who might be experiencing a little bit of lag. We'll eat a bit of an ignite. Should all be good. We've got Nemfi standing in on that Vengeful Spirit. Up in the top rune spot, we've got Trixie going toe-to-toe with Demonic right now, getting a bit of his damage drained away, so he's going to potentially lose out on the bounty. And in comes Matuberman trying to grab it, but not managing to do so successfully. Finally, this does mean, of course, we've got Valix on that Puck. And Valix is a player that, in my mind, has a huge amount of potential. He is the youngest member of the team, if memory serves. And if also memory serves, he was actually too young that he couldn't actually join us at the after party from Assembly.
Oh man, that is young indeed, probably. I mean, in some countries it's usually like higher for clubs and whatnot. Some countries it's... Although, it's weird that clubs, it's like you have to be 21, although the drinking age is 18 in like most European countries or something.
The after party wasn't at a club, it was at a sports bar.
Well, still probably like, well, while you're not 18, it sucks to be you, I guess, but looking at the lanes...
Valix certainly has potential, definitely.
I mean, the younger you are and the better you are while being young, it's just definitely potential will be there. But this aggressive tri-lane is slowing down the anti-mage. So far, 0 last hits on the anti-mage. Mid lane though, Legion Commander, struggling a little bit, but does have his bottle coming out already, although didn't even go for his Tau Shield before that. So, not going bad. Matumbaman in the meantime, he's gonna give away first blood. Not enough time to blink, or rather, it was already on cooldown as well. Just homing missile, man, too strong.
Homing missile, fire blast, and telekinesis. It's a triple stun lane. Tri-lane gyro. It's quite nasty, even against an anti-mage who would normally be able to blink away. And Matuberman, he likes to play aggressive, so he's going to have to respect this lane a bit more, considering if we already look at Sasha, he's already positioning himself, ready to rotate in once more. But I suppose we should get the other formality out of the way before we get a little too bogged down by kills, shall we? As Demonic actually getting very aggressive on the top lane. Who are you going to be placing your money on? Who are you going to be betting on?
Well, I'm gonna go with Compass.
I'm not going to go against the boys in 4ASC. I'm betting on them all the way.
It's probably too safe of a bet to go for 4 rankers, man. But Matumba man, once again, homing missile is there, gonna get the blink out though, and we'll just be fine. Probably gonna get hit by the rocket, take some damage, but that's about it.
Yeah, this is a lane that Anti-Mage is going to have a very rough time in. Anti-Mage against this kind of thing is very greedy. But we do look at the supports rotating around. Trixie does have backup. He might go on Demonic here, but it's going to be a very hard kill, especially with no Gush. Then again, Buffy is here with Nymphy, and they do have those stuns ready to go. Both these supports are level 1, however, and are suffering in the experience department, up against the supports of KPG, who are almost level 2 each.
I mean, it's probably a lot, or theoretically, a lot easier for them to get the kill on Razor than it is for Compass Game to actually set up a kill on Anti-Mage just because of that blink. And all, as we speak of the blink, he blinks away once again from danger. So it's gonna be fine, but Boogie and Nymphy, they are just hanging around for quite a long time, and like you said, they're already behind in XP, and if they don't make something happen soon, they're just going to fall further and further behind. And not only that, they're also leeching something from the Tidehunter. So let's say they leave the lane after just a couple of minutes maybe, it's just going to mean that Razor has even more of an upper hand against Tidehunter.
Well, I would say I do like the support combo of 4ASC. If they fall behind in experience, it's going to hurt them. The slower you get Epicenter online, the worse it is. And Matumaman is in a lot of trouble. Gets telekinesed into a Fire Blast. The rocket lands as well. Can he escape this one? He's taking a lot of damage from that rocket barrage. A couple more right clicks from Sasha might be able to do this. 2 more would be enough, but he gets into the tree line and is safe. Going to salve up his Matumaman. And a lot of tower damage actually got thrown into, what's that, Sasha? Is it pronounced Sasha? It's odd way spelled.
No, it's just shoot. Sasha has Trixie. Oh god, 30 HP remaining. Demonic. Not quite able to get the kill, so both heroes just escaping. So close to death, and I guess 4AC a little bit lucky there as well, as Volosha will go to the room with Nymphy, but Nymphy will be able to snatch it before him. Nice magic missile. Fortunately for him, there's no duel on Volosha either. So Legion Commander not going to be able to get the kill, at least not the duel win there, although he might get the kill anyway. It's 11-1 Vengeful rather, after all. One more overwhelming odds would do the trick. Trixie just cancel the healing salves, man. There's the plasma field as well. Nymphy will go down in the end. Still no duel though, unfortunately.
No duel. But I will point out that was a bounty rune picked up by the VS, and she was still level 1. And now we might be in a lot of trouble. Could we see a kill onto the Legion Commander? Seems we might. One more stun would do it, but he's too fast. The overwhelming odds gives him that movement speed that he needed, and he is out of there.
So now both sides have escaped with near-death experiences, so I guess it kind of evens out the playfield in the end. Bottom lane, Matumba man still struggling a hell of a lot, 8 last hits only, compared that to a Razor who's sitting on 22. It's just the Sand King and Vengeful not really being that successful at all so far. What's the stacking status? There's a double stack in the big camp, but that's about it for the Radiant jungle.
No, and we're seeing just a lack of experience on Buffy as well, so we can't really take on the camps yet, but we might see a kill on Sasha. Stun goes through, Orb is there, and that's going to be a good kill for 4AFC, but they need more. They honestly do. They have fallen behind already in terms of experience, and they have to catch up. But now, in comes the Legion Commander looking to do some work. Does he have level 6 yet? Almost got it halfway to go on that level 5 to 6 point, and once we've got Jewel up, I think that's where the fun and games truly begin.
Almost certainly so. Matumba man though, are they gonna chase this? Maybe so. Fire Blast is there a little bit too early. I think he's gonna be able to blink out. Yes, he is. So they hesitated a little bit there whether to dive or not, but the telekinesis onto Nymphy comes out anyway, so they're gonna get 1 kill. Matumba man, he runs back into it for God knows what reason. I mean, I guess he got to mana break like with 1 right click, but that was just way over eager.
I think I was a bit too greedy. I think he was just looking for the mana break kill, but he's level 4. There's no way he could have been for a mana break kill. I mean, I can understand wanting to save the supports, but that was... I'm unsure about that one. I really am.
Well, man, you said he likes to play aggressive, and well, sometimes just going aggressive is not the right way to do things.
I don't know. There's a difference between aggressive, though, and tricksy aggressive.
So you want to say there's a difference between aggressive and retarded?
Yeah. I did not say that. You said that.
No.
Tricksy
I asked if you
fun.
meant that.
Oh,
I didn't say anything.
Tricksy aggressive is fun, but tricksy aggressive can be a bit too aggressive at times.
Well, Alex though, he's smoked up, so they might go for that aggression. No Ravage yet, although he's gonna have it soon enough.
bot lane. VMP taking quite a few right clicks. Matubaman looking to do some work here, but the support just isn't there from Nemfi in time. And there was a rotation in as well by GP674, so not exactly a very easy kill on a gyro, especially considering he's salved up. And, well, Matubaman is sort of out of regen. Or is he? He's got a stick. He's still out of regen. It's going to be a rough lane. And he honestly needs that farm. Then again, I reckon Matubaman could catch up. I've seen him do
Nemfi might be in some trouble though. Fire Blast comes out. They just need something. Level 2 Rocket Barrage. No, nice Magic Missile stops it for a little while longer. Rocket Barrage gets activated, telekinesis. But Trixie comes out with a huge Ravage, catches all three. And it might be a turnaround. Vladimir still alive, but will go down in the end. The creep's helping out there. But so is Demonic coming in. Plasma Field will just make Matubaman back off. So, Razor rotating, not for a kill or anything. Trixie though does get a nice Ravage. Would have hoped for a little bit more from that Ravage though, even, to be honest.
Yeah, you would have generally hoped for a few kills, but they did at least get a kill on the most important target, the Gyrocopter. Bringing him down, that's going to do some good in the long run, and it did net Matubaman his level 6. And he has gone for the more, well, what originated as a Chinese-style build with 1-1-1 stats into Ult 6. But Trixie now in a lot of trouble, as Demonic will finish the job here. But in comes Valix on that puck. They're looking to try to bring down the Razor, but this is something that Matubaman cannot get involved in. He's too low. And even Valix is just moving away. He does not want to stay around this. I don't blame him. That's 105 stolen damage on Demonic, but the tower will finish the job, and the experience pretty much all goes into Boofy, which is certainly going to happen. That's a level 5 Sand King now, and he was behind in levels. Something fierce.
That was slightly mistimed as well, with the Razor running out like that. Of course, even the Siege Creep wouldn't have helped too much, just because it was like one click away from death. Ogre Magi, he tried to come in to tank it up himself, a little bit too late though, and even without the tower, I guess Boogie would have gotten the kill anyway with a Burrow Strike. So nicely done, just recovering a little bit. Anti-Mage, still piss poor. I mean, Sand King has more net worth than him, and Sand King actually up to 1.3k gold, so not horribly far from the blink.
As soon as we have that blink, it's going to be absolutely perfect for him. If he can land those epicenters, he can easily recover from what he suffered in the first 4 minutes of this game. But I'm wondering what we're going to see out of Nemfi, considering he's still level 3 at 9 minutes in this game. That's not where you want your Vengeful Spirit to be at all. Generally, you'd want to swap up by now so you can get those guaranteed stuns in combination with the Dream Coil. It's just not happening, however.
All I can say about that is thank God he at least has boots.
I suppose there is a silver lining to be had.
So they're gonna find the kill on Sasha as well. Magic Missile is there, a little bit of mana breaking. They have the mana void if really needed. But assistance is coming, mana void, not enough even, okay. So they didn't even get the kill. That's a little bit surprising.
That's very surprising, considering he did have that blink. He could have just gone for it. I think they were thinking they were comfortable in the amount of mana broken, but it just wasn't enough in the end. But now in comes the Legion Commander. Jewel is there. That's going to be, I believe, the first win of the game. Yeah, and this could be the start of an avalanche of kills towards the Legion Commander if we're not careful. But they deploy the Dream Coil. They're looking for more here, doing some good damage onto that Ogre, but VMP is certainly hanging around being threatening, and VMP can do a ferocious amount of damage on that Gyrocopter, specifically after that change.
Oh man, it was just so funny to see Matubaman. He was coming close, yet not going in for the right click, just because he knew otherwise there's going to be a rocket barrage in his face or something like that. He should have just kept on farming or something with Anti-Mage, especially without the mana void being there. You really can't do anything in a fight like that.
Ah, well, you can't go toe-to-toe with a Gyrocopter in his face because, as you mentioned, the Rocket Barrage does a lot of damage. At level 1, it will do 330 damage. He's got it at level 2, so napkin math, a lot more.
Well, at least they get the kill on Demonic. They did use the Ravage as well as the Epicenter for it, but you don't find too many Epicenter opportunities anyway. And Sasha, he's gonna go down as well. Illusory Orb into the silence. A few more right clicks. Valix will get the kill, or will he? Nope. Magic Stick to the rescue. Fate Bolt into the Valix's back. Of course, with the Haste Rune, he's gonna escape anyway. Maybe think about coming back. Well, he's thinking about it. Probably a bad idea. Ignite will get dodged though. Ignite just was a little bit too slow when being thrown out by the Ogre.
Yeah, but that is twice Sasha has got away by the skin of his teeth. I'm not sure if it's luck or what, but he is just surviving. Then again, Buffy is not. He's the second Jewel victim as well as the first. We're starting to see that damage stacked up on the Legion, which is only going to get worse now she has that Blink Dagger in her possession.
And in the meantime, bottom lane Gyrocopter was forced back a little bit as well, at least. Some mana was drained from him as well by Matumbaman. Only 1 point into mana break so far though, just going for the max out blink to be sure just kind of ensure that you can actually escape as well. Does have the Ring of Health as well, but struggling as he is, do you still go for Battle Fury? Do you still try to just somehow get it through, or do you actually go defensive and go like a Vanguard?
This is a hard one to call because the Battle Fury will accelerate his farm to a pretty good extent. If he can get that Battle Fury up, he's going to be able to get his Manta. I'm going by napkin math of assuming he has a Battle Fury 18. Well, 19. I should think he'll have the Manta at maybe 27 if he can get a good farm. But the rotations and the aggression from KPG has just been so much in this game. So part of me wants to say go for a Crimson, or at least go for a Vladimir's into something into a Crimson. It'll help you tank up and it'll reduce the physical damage across the board of what is a very heavy physical damage lineup of KPG.
Man, another hero escapes with less than 50 HP at the time. Did get hit by both of the just cooldown ticks as well. But cooldown only level 1, the second tick just wasn't quite enough damage there. So nice escape. But I have to agree with you, it's a really hard call. But oh, Volosha almost finds Matumba, man. They had a ward even seeing him. I'm not too sure why they just didn't keep themselves hidden and blink on top of him. Legion has to blink after all. But more heroes coming into the mid lane. Vilix pops the double dream coil. Matumba man gonna go in. He wants to go for Sasha, the easier kill. And I guess easy is the correct wave. The Ravage comes out, catches 2 as well. But Vilix is so damn low and he's gonna get dueled. Immediate death there. But Goofy will get Demonic in return, I do believe. Yes, with the Epicenter it's enough. So in the end, a 2 for 2, a core and support for both sides.
A fairly even trade before you count the duel, in all honesty. That duel victory, stacking up those duel wins is really going to be the thing that punishes for ASC here. But it is still recoverable. We saw the first epicenter of the game delivered there. Did good damage. Unfortunately, the Sand King died before the Razor, so he didn't get the experience. But the gold will certainly help out across the board here.
Well, Trixie does deny the tower away from Vladimir as well, so lots of gold denied here to the entire side of KPG, and Vladimir might be in some trouble as Vilix comes in as well. Illusory will not connect though, so Vladimir just gonna run away. Dream Coil still on cooldown, but there is a blink on Sand King from the kill on Demonic, so that's probably it. I think finishing the blink makes up for losing that one duel there probably, but it's really up to how much 4ASC can actually start accomplishing with this blink now.
It is. They really need to deliver some good fights, but Matuberman gets dueled. Stun goes out onto Voloshka. This could be enough to save Matuberman, but no, not with a multicast Fire Blast coming in. However, Nemthi does rotate in and get the kill with the help of Sand King there in the Sandstorm. However, what was stolen? Sandstorm stolen by Sasha, but in comes another Burrow Strike, doing some good work here, but Rubik's going to Sandstorm and protect himself as well. No detection, unfortunately, on the Sand King. And now, well, in comes Trixie. We could be looking at what is looking to be a fight in the mid lane at this rate. Anti-Mage is down, so is the Legion. The Anti-Mage will, of course, be up first and be able to TP in the fight if one breaks out. And we've got VMP rotating in, finding Trixie, brawling toe-to-toe with a Tide. Tide will win this one in a 1v1, but you do have to respect the Ogre that can rotate in at any point. And we've seen him deliver multicasts, and that is a very scary thing, considering it's also going for an Aghanim Scepter.
Oh, it's definitely scary, and well, in the last fight as well, the scariness of an Ogre wasn't there just because, well, it was there, but after the duel already ended, just because of that nice double Burrow Strike. And now Legion Commander blinks in forward with the press attack, gets the tower last hit. This time around, they don't want to have it denied. Also, Vladimir is pretty close to his BKB and the Gyrocopter, definitely gonna help him in just staying in the fights. Doesn't care about Epicenter, Ravage, anything about that the puck has to offer. So once he finishes the BKB, the Gyrocopter will be near immune to death.
He will, but right now, well, the most important thing is KPG found the stack and they've put a ward down to block it as well. So they're not going to contest the stack, but they've blocked any further stacking, and it's a triple at the moment. So it could be something worth fighting over, but it seems we're going to see a rotation away as VMP finds himself a haste rune and he's starting to move around the map as quick as possible as we catch a duel potentially onto Matuberman. Oh no, he manages to fog it just in time and there will be no duel.
I can totally understand Volosha wanted to go for Presty attack first just to get the extra attack speed to actually get the kill. Otherwise, I don't think even the duel duration would have been enough to have somebody else rotate in and just secure the kill, kind of. Although, then again, looking at the health pool on Matumba Man, maybe just one extra hero being there with like random damage would have been enough. But they don't get the kill, so nice for AC. They don't lose, just the Anti-Mage can try to farm up as Trixie. Farming up the Ancients, dropping extremely low, and he's gonna get found out. There's the multicast as well. There's the duel that they were waiting for, but they need a little bit more damage, I believe. Cooldown will come out. Will he get the Ravage off? No, he won't. It wasn't a duel window, but still a kill is a kill. Now Burrow Strike into the Ogre Magi, Dream Coil used onto Volosha as well as the Mana Void. They don't even get the kill with that, although Ogre Magi dies in the end. Sasha gonna get chased down as well. Sandstorm, don't think it should be enough of the Burrow Strike being there for Boofy. I mean, that was kind of obvious, but Batumbaman does get stand and Volosha will have the Order goes in 1 second. No, the blink out comes first. Tries to go for it, misses it just by a hair. I mean, that was so close to the anti-mage. But in the end, I believe it's a 1-for-1. And did Trixie buy back?
I do not believe so.
He did.
Yes,
Oh,
he
God.
did. But in the meantime, we've got Buffy finding another kill. And, well, he's starting to get very aggressive on that Sand King. And this is the trademark we see time and time again from 4ASC. Aggression. They will be balls to the wall aggressive as Voloshka finds himself another kill. This time not a duel, it was with an overwhelming odds, so not got the extra damage, but the gold is certainly adding up as he nearly has a full BKB.
Yeah, just 2 BKBs coming out within a short duration of each other. Definitely going to be huge for them. I mean, for AC, at least they can finish up farming the stack. So Trixie more or less at the same exact gold he was before, just going for, or dying and buying back. So at least he has that going for him. Compass Gaming, they didn't win the fight convincingly enough, or I guess it was a rather even fight in the end anyway. But they weren't there to just steal the damage or steal the Roshan. Not Roshan, but I'm saying the kill on the bottom lane. Just got my head mixed up, but Volosha did find a solo kill, just duel one.
If he can keep doing that, then he's going to be set up quite nicely. What was stolen? Wave of Terror stolen by the Rubik there. And now, this is going to be a very bad place for ASC to be. When those 2 BKBs come online, that's going to pretty much mitigate all of Buffy's damage with that Epicenter. And Trixie did opt to go for that Blink Dagger for the initiation power instead of finishing the mechanism, considering he already had a headdress. So it's going to be a very hard place to fight from in about 3 minutes' time, and KPG will have quite the advantage at that point, which they're going to need to push, because if they don't push when they have that advantage with the BKBs, it's going to be very rough. Then again, Razor does manage to go down up against the Tide and the Sand King combination, and they're going to look to bring down this tier 1. Bringing down the tier 1 will certainly help, but the flip side of the coin, Roshan is the order of business for KPG. And again, Voloshka's taking quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, now finally Chirocopter comes in as well, so gonna help out a little bit. Press the attack even used. Volosha did have a regen rune, so gonna be just fine. But the top lane, Razor, just as they saw the TP in, Sand King started channeling the epicenter. Just blinked on there, no Ravage even needed, so really nice solo kill. That's what the Razor gets for not going mech. But he's going for a BKB as well, only a recipe short, and Legion Commander gets the Aegis now. He can feel so safe, although if you lose the duel and have the Aegis, you're still giving away damage, so I guess he cannot be like completely reckless with it, but it's still a nice backup you have.
Yeah, it is, but more importantly right now for Voloshka, he has himself his full BKB. The recipe's flying out to him right now. This is probably the scariest point in the game for 4ASC. If they can start making work with that BKB Legion Commander, I really fear for 4ASC in this game. Then again, this is only game 1 in the best of 3, so I'm not counting them out by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, most certainly not, but still 4AC, although Puck has the Blink Dagger, so does the Sand King and the Tide Hunter, so there are 3 Blink Daggers. Looks like Trixie going for straight off Refresh Your Orb now as well. It's still a worry that Anti-Mage, it's 20 minutes in, he just has that 1 ring of health from the Battle Fury.
1 ring of health from a Battle Fury is still very rough to be in. I mean, this has probably been the worst possible lane in the worst possible game for Matuberman to play an anti-mage in. Hell, I'm not even sure what type of carry I would want to put in that lane. I mean, I can't think of one that would farm particularly safely either way.
Well, there definitely wouldn't have been safe farm for really anybody. At least Sand King early on, not the greatest hero to have in a dry lane anyway, to be honest, because level 1 Burrow Strike, the range is just horrible, like absolutely bad. But, well, they have kind of recovered from that at least. I mean, Sand King has had the Blink Dagger for quite some time, up to another 1.6k gold. What do you think Sand King is even gonna go for next? Do you just build a 4-staff or?
For the Sand King, I'd say Arcane Boots would certainly help. I mean, it really would. But this is an item that I rabbit on about all the time, and I see it so rarely. Veil of Discord. A Veil for 4ASC would be very powerful. It would amplify the damage of the Sand King's Epicenter by quite a margin. It's technically, mathematically, a better upgrade than an Aghanim.
Which is ridiculous, to be honest.
Yeah.
The Aghanim is like kind of useless.
Yeah, but on top of that, it would also amplify Trixie's damage, it would amplify the Puck's damage. You see where I'm coming from. I would certainly want to see a Valor Discord before ASC.
But considering the fact that they are going up against 3 BKBs, I mean, is it still worth going for it? Although then again, so many times, even if the enemy has BKB, a Blink Burrow Strike catches you faster than you can react with the BKB.
Well, if they can catch a good Blink Burrow Strike, then yeah, they can bring him down before the BKB goes up. That's what they need to do if they want to try to take fights. But if you take a look at what they're doing on the map, they're just split pushing. They're playing the game of, we know you're pushing our bottom lane, we may as well push your top lane instead. They keep the enemy guessing, they keep getting gold without losing fights. Sure, they lose a couple of structures, they lose a bit of map control, but this gives them time. It gives them the opportunity to recover.
Well, they definitely need the time for the anti-mage to recover, and big time so as well. He is 4th from the bottom in net worth at this point. It is really sad to see an anti-mage being that low. Compass Gaming, they claim the tier 2, most likely will transition into the tier 2 mid lane, at least they're pinging it out. Also, Ogre Magi being only one part, the Blade of Alacrity away from the Aghanims, is pretty scary this early on.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this is very, very worrying for AFC. I cannot stress that enough. I mean, generally, even after these nerfs to Ogre, seeing an Ogre with an Aghanim scares the ever-living crap out of me. The fact that he's almost got level 11 and level 2 multicast, that makes it even worse. I mean, there's a pretty good webcomic of a farmed PA going, I can kill anyone, sees an Ogre, screams and runs the other direction. That's with good reason. Ogre is damn scary.
Oh, most certainly so, and he also has the Bloodlust to back up his teammates. Of course, it's still only level 1. Ogre definitely, if possible, would like to get more levels, would like to get the level 3 multicast, max out Bloodlust, of course, as well. But they're gonna have to make do with what they've got so far, so they're just going for the tier 2. Volosha tanking it all up, has the Aegis for another, well, only about 30 seconds. Whereas Poofy just split pushing up to 3.2k gold. To be honest, he can go for a BKB of his own if he really wants to, but
I'm not sure how much that would actually accomplish for him, considering he can still be stopped mid-cast by, say, a Jewel or some such, but a BKB Sand King does not really make much sense. He's gone for the 4-stuff, though. That's a bit better. I like the idea of a 4-stuff in this game. Try to save his teammates from, say, Jewel, or bring the Rubik into a poor position, or help to escape himself. 4-stuff has a plethora of uses, and it's one of my personal favorite items in the game for that.
it's definitely a nice item to pick up. I was like, what the hell is he pulling up the gold for? Demonic, though, might be in some trouble. Anti-Mage is in the trees, as is Poofy coming in with the epicenter. Nope, Burrow Strike, though. BKB came out before, so I guess epicenter for 10-second BKB, not too bad.
I suppose it's a reasonable trade still. I reckon if they had landed that Burrow Strike, they could have done more. That would have given Matubuman more time to drain mana, and then maybe look for a Mana Void. But we might see another fight breaking out down in that mid lane, considering Ogre, he is threatening. They're going to go in for this one. He still doesn't have that Aghanim, so he can still not hit a good multicast. Now in comes the Yules from Valix. They're going to be able to bring him down at this rate. There's no way the Ogre's escaping this one, and that's going to set the Ogre back down a little bit more towards the Aghanims, which is absolutely perfect, and what we need to see more of. Then again, they're going to go for more. The aggression is there. They find Sasha, Burrow Strike through onto the Rubik, and he's going to fall. That's 2 kills in a short duration for 4ASC.
Oh, Compass Gaming, they've been toyed around with, just because 4ASC, in a proper team fight with all 3 BKBs of Compass Gaming, in theory I think they should easily be able to win it, but they just aren't able to get that team fight, just because 4ASC, they're split pushing, they're forcing Compass Gaming back, when maybe, at least when they had the Aegis as well, they should have been the ones to actually pressure tier 3s and make 4ASC back off and just go try to fight them or something like that. Also, Tidehunter, he's only a recipe's worth away from the Refresher Orb now, so farming up pretty damn well for himself, all things considered. So I think for AC, they are doing pretty much everything correct so far.
Does he actually have enough mana to double Ravage with a Refresher? I
With
suppose
the
with the
Arcane Boots, with
the
double
Arcanes,
Arcane
maybe.
Boots, he should.
It's still going to be very tight. Then again, they do find themselves the Ogre once more in the jungle, but a BKB Demonic, that could be a threat that forces them back, and the Puck of Valix will just look to escape this one. They can't really hang around to fight this one, not with a BKB up, but that is the 9-second BKB down as well, but it does not matter. Voloshka finds himself a dual victory on the Anti-Mage. And that's a DD as well. That's going to be a tower of this rate.
If they don't back off fast, which they are trying to do, just TPs are coming. But both the BKB wants to go for more. What? Doesn't have the duel. What the hell was Volosha thinking? He's going to get swapped out of the TP as well. Well, that's just feed.
That's excessive feed, and that's 404 gold towards the Tidehunter. I'm pretty sure that may just about finish up his refresher. Near enough. He's got a good 600 to go still, but that did help out to no end. More importantly, the experience from that. Then again, we find an epicenter on VMP. He's going to be forced to BKB TP as well. They are whittling down these TPs. I believe we've just seen the 10-second on the Legion Commander. What was that? A 10-second on the Gyrocopter as well to TP out. And more importantly, we've seen 2 BKB uses. Two BKB uses from Demonic's Razor as well. So all of these teamfights are whittling down the BKBs, which is going to help out for ASC in the long run. Problem is, can they survive long enough to the point where those BKBs are short enough that they can just pick the team apart? They have to go into this one for the long run.
With how Compass Gaming have approached this so far, I think 4AC can delay things out. Looking at the graphs as well, it's only about a 3.5k net worth lead now, which used to be about 7,000 XP, actually in the favor of 4 anchors, about 2k. They are on the hunt now, but they just blink and force stuff away. They're kiting around Compass Gaming completely. Although Nemphy, never mind, even he's gonna be left alone by Volosha. At least there's an AC coming out from Legion Commander. I mean, they're still farmed, yet it feels like that they're not enforcing things enough, or I don't know, they're just so farmed yet unable to find anything.
This is the one thing about 4ASC, they can be very evasive. How many blink daggers do they have? They've got a blink on the Tide. Puck could be in a bit of trouble. I know he's just taking creeps, so his health dropping. We've got a blink on the Puck, we've got blink forced up on the Sand King, blink on Anti-Mage, of course. And now
we have Battle Fury, man.
28-minute Battle Fury. Then again, this could be the opening to recover for Matuberman. He needs to move around the map and get this farm up as soon as possible. And if we see standard timings, then I'm expecting a full Manta to be online about the 35-36 minute mark. Of course, that's assuming he has free farm and doesn't run into, say, a Voloshka in the forest, considering, oh, look at him trying to be sneaky.
I mean, he's trying definitely his best to just get any kind of kills, get more dual damage. At this point, 62 points of damage. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, any kind of extra damage is always going to be nice, of course, but it's not as great as he probably would have expected it to be by this point. So, I think for AC, they're still in the clear as long as they don't lose racks. Although Compass Gaming, they might just be waiting for the next Roshan, get the Aegis, and then make her go.
That could certainly be the order of business, but right now, we do see the AC coming up on Voloshka, so they could be looking to fight more than do Roshan, especially with the smoke. They could certainly be looking to brawl, but this smoke was actually revealed by a ward coming out of 4AFC. They saw the smoke go off and look at them. They're all rotating away. They don't really want to risk this. Boofy is being very aggressive still, just, well, continuing to sandstorm everything humanly possible on the Sand King. And again, Puck needs to be careful. Voloshka almost could have got a duel there if he was a second quicker with that blink dagger. So we're looking for aggression versus sneakiness, really, I suppose is the way to put it for 4AFC. Then again, it seems that KPG are trying to be the sneaky ones this time. They're trying to find themselves a Sand King, but Boofy already in the tree line. He doesn't really want to afford getting caught at all. And hell, he does have that Epicenter level 2 ready to go and another 2.2k gold in the bank. So it does raise the question of what's Boofy going to go for next? Are we going to see the bloody Veil of Discord, or are we going to see an Aghanims?
I think it might be neither. I think it might be a Hex or something like that, maybe.
I can get behind a Hex. A Hex is completely fine. Hex is never a bad item on any hero.
I would definitely at least prefer that to an Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, I would agree. I would prefer a Hex over an Aghanims. I would still love to see a Veil because it just increases their potential for damage by a factor of 25%.
Well, I wouldn't mind it either, to be honest, especially with them having a double Ravage or having at least enough gold to purchase a Refresher Orb, or at least the recipe for it. So, not too sure if 4AC actually want to save for buyback. They might as well, but Compass Gaming, what are they really doing at this point? They are just running around the map, hoping for some kills, yet not accomplishing anything. At least they're farming up reasonably well on their free cores. They also have the AC finished now. I don't really see a reason for them to wait too much longer. Do they have anything other big coming out? I guess Aghanim Scepter Razor is huge. They also have the Monkey King Baron Gyro now. I mean, if they wait for the next item as well, it's just going to take another like 6 minutes.
Yeah, which is a problem, considering I'm going to raise the graphs at this point. We're going to start with the experience graph. Look at that. For ASC, they've been hunting and picking off kills where they can. 5,000 experience lead. Now look at gold. What was quite the lead, a 7,500 lead for KPG, is now slowly going back in the favour of 4ASC. If Matuberman's anti-mage comes online, there will be big problems for KPG, and it will just be because KPG did not push and exploit the opening they made. If they had gone down to the bottom lane and took that tier 3, they could have forced the base. I think they could have fought the base back when they were playing and knocking on the tier 3 with the DD lane, before Veloshka went and just died. I mean, when you're ahead, you get more ahead, in the glorious words of Day 9. It's the logic of the game. They're just sitting around farming and they're falling behind for it. For ASC are farming better. Not only are they split pushing harder with Buffy and Trixie right now, who could be in a little bit of trouble if they're not careful, but they have Matuberman catching up. He's back up at 2.1k. He's got his Yasha. He's going to hold just for buyback, but he has his Yasha. We're looking for a, as I say, 35-minute, 36-minute Manta. And with that Manta online, suddenly KPG have a lot more problems. And now we've got a Aghanim Scepter onto Varlix as well. So that guaranteed stun coming out of a Dream Coil is suddenly a whole lot worse. Then again, in comes the damage onto Varlix. And he manages to phase shift it a bit, but just look at this BKB VMP. He's just standing strong. This is the strength of a gyrocopter, but now in comes the turnaround. VMP does eat one more stun, but there is no follow-up, and the duel does come in from Veloshka. That is not what you really want to happen. Then again, it did go on to the Ventral Spirit, which is probably the least valuable target possible. But it seems he wants more. He's going for the tower. Not exactly the easy thing to do, though. Does get silenced. The tower still stands for now. In comes Matuberman. You can't really go toe-to-toe with Veloshka at this point. This is a very hard thing to fight. And this could be the tier 3. All it will take is a little bit of focus coming out of him, but now we've got the Yules looking for more. Varlix is back up at full health. This could be very rough. Then again, in comes the Rubik and the Sand King for opposing teams, and now in comes Ravage. That'll be the death of Veloshka. It'll also force the Aegis, which means he'll be back in a few seconds. The Rubik will fall. The Fire Blast comes through from the Ogre Magi, but now this could be Veloshka's second death, especially with Matuberman back at full health. The mana break, it's more than enough. Down goes the Legion Commander. However, it did mean Trixie's going to have to go back to regen. He survives on no health again, and he has his refresher. Immediately uses it, has another Ravage ready to go, and this is the opening that 4ASC need, especially now they find the Ogre. The Ogre's going to fall, and this is suddenly a whole lot worse for the KPG lineup.
I mean, I would like to say that 4ASC created that opening themselves, but I'm inclined to say the Compass Gaming, they gave them the opening.
It sort of felt like it a little bit. I mean, having the Legion Commander there isolated alone within the enemy base is not ideal. And the gold graph, it's now back at neutral. This is quite strong for ASC. They had some early mistakes, but they are now recovering for it. Now they're going to poke and prod at Demonic, forces another BKB for what will be nothing, and Varlix just needs to get the hell out of dodge. Will successfully do so, and so will Matuberman. The aggression of 4ASC, they are poking, prodding, and they are just taking the whole map by storm.
It's just, I guess we really see at the moment the kind of lack of experience from Compass Gaming, just unable to, first of all, force your lead. Especially the Aegis, both Aegis, just horrible usage. I mean, first of all, the first one I don't think it even got used, it just expired. Second one, Legion Commander, why the hell would you dive that far? I mean, I understand him trying to go for Tidehunter because he survived with like 67 HP, I think it was, after the homing missile hit him. As mid lane, oh, they might get the kill, maybe Demonic, no BKB, he's Dream Coiled up, so cannot snap it. You'll Scepter on puck, but oh, Trixie blinks in with a Ravage, will miss Demonic, but it's gonna be enough with the Burrow second for 2 kills anyway.
That is some vicious stun stacking right there. There is just no escape from that.
There is no... Unfortunately here, diminishing returns does not just take place in a game of Dota, so just perma-stun pretty much. That's... I'm at the lack for words for ASC. If you look at the net worth, at least the 3 or 2 most farmed heroes are still on Compass Gaming, but it doesn't feel so at all, especially if you look at the graphs. It's just more even on 4AC. Almost every single hero of them is farmed, apart from the Vengeful, I guess. But the lead, especially XP, 10k plus for anchors.
Yeah, and now, well, we have that 36-minute Manta, pretty much on the dot to what I predicted, flying out to Matuvum, and oh god, these guys, they recovered. I have no idea how.
Well, it's it's a little bit of throwing, a little bit of good play as well at the same time. They're really forcing Compass Game to make the mistakes. Boofy might be in some trouble if he gets stunned. There's the first Fire Blast, second one as well, finally gets a multicast. But is it even gonna be enough? He just sandstorms and, well, no detection, just GG, guys.
I gotta say, I'm very surprised at the lack of detection, considering this top lane at the tier 3 has been Buffy's home for the last 10 minutes. Then again, they're going to lose themselves to the Vengeful Spirit in the jungle. Once again, Voloshka finds himself another duel win. He's up at 98 duel damage.
I mean, definitely not too shabby, but they just find them too far between each other. Just, well, whoop, never mind. They find the kill on Puck as well. Well, that's a nice one. No idea how Valix actually died here, because didn't expect that to happen, but maybe that's kind of an opening for Compass Gaming. Puck down for 60 seconds. Does have buyback though. But even if you can force the buyback, it's always also going to be a win in itself. Looking at Ravage status though, 28 seconds for the Ravage. Has the refresh orb as well. So double Ravage will be on by the time Compass Gaming properly just arrive at the base with the creeps.
Yeah, I honestly expect the Puck to buy back. Yeah, there we go. Puck's going to buy back. They're going to look to buy this one with the double Ravage. They're holding their tier 3 once again. The fortification is there. Now they're trying to bring it down. Regen, not enough with the backdoor regen right now, but can they kill off the entire lineup here? I have a feeling they can if they can land these double Ravages. Either they need to bait out the BKBs or they need to just commit. If they commit and manages to catch them before the BKBs go up, perfect. But it'll be a very tight window of opportunity. They need to, however, protect these racks. They look to start out onto the Razor, hit him with the Yules, just starting the poking and the prodding. Valix does drop a Dream Coil, only catches onto the Rubik, however. In comes the Epicenter, doing some good damage, but it forces 2 BKBs. 2 BKBs are down, 3 BKBs are down, and they still haven't used a single Ravage. The duel, however, will bring down Buffy, and now we're looking for the impact from Trixie. Ravage number 1, Ravage number 2, and now in comes Matuberman, and they look to clean up. Double kill for Trixie, killing spree for Matuberman.
Well, that's exactly what they were waiting for. Just perfectly done, baiting out the BKBs like that. Trixie, who was so freaking patient in there. Usually you see at least them popping like one Ravage into the first BKBs or something, and then waiting around with the second Ravage and getting that perfectly. But this time around, they definitely baited things out. Sand King's life did not go down in vain. I mean, perfect champion. He died, sure, he gave away some dual damage, but it was worth wiping the enemy team. Even the Dream Coil was pretty bad, to be honest. Only caught the Rubik. But in the end, it was enough. Just, man, an anti-mage. Suddenly, he's the highest farmer, at least in his own team. There is a Desolator now as well on Voloshout, on the Legion Commander though. So he's a little bit stronger now, but things are not looking good for them with the way the fights have been going.
Yeah, and especially we've got to consider Matuberman has 4,200 gold again. Don't ask me how. He's just magically found gold. And from here on in, BKB I don't think is the right choice for this one. A Heart could certainly do a good amount of work, but a Butterfly I don't think works either. I think a Heart's the right way to go, just considering they've already got an MKB on the Gyrotop there.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to go for a Butterfly if already at least one enemy just right-clicker has himself a Monkey King bar. I mean, Legion Commander could have gone for one as well, I guess, like preemptively, but they go for the Desolator instead. I mean, in a sense, it's excellent for tower pushing as well, so if Compass Gaming win one fight and Legion Commander survives, having the AC as well as the Desolator makes for some extremely fast pushing, especially if Razor by some chance should also be alive with the Eye of the Storm. And, well, speaking of Razor, he's going for the Refresher Orb of his own. Not gonna have it quite yet, and he's actually fallen behind in farm. Well, passes the Tidehunter now by like 100 or so, but it's just 4 heroes farming for 4 ASC, and there's a double damage rune bottled up for Anti-Mage now, and has picked up the Eagle Song, so it's gonna be a Butterfly after all.
Yeah, and I'll just point this out. While all of this is going on, while we've got a push coming out of KPG, take a look at the top tier 3. Buffy once again poking and prodding and managing to bring it down to a quarter health. Will TP back to help his team out here, and the push is coming in from Demonic. They are going to look to bring down the racks. They get the bottom melee racks, but can we see a defense? Can we get another one? Can we get another magical fight?
Well, I guess the Refresher nerf slightly kicking in as well. A slightly higher cooldown on it. I don't think it would have been off cooldown anyway for the Refresher. But there's the blink in, they get the duel onto Trixie's wall, he does have buyback though, so that's gonna be fine. They also got the melee racks, but it's still nice to get the kill. If they can just force a buyback now and back off, it's gonna be grand for them. But Valix pops the Dream Coil onto 3 heroes, no buyback still. There's the buyback though, and can Compass Gaming disengage?
I don't think they're going to. In comes the Sand King, gets the epicenter. We're looking for BKBs. There come the BKBs. Now we're looking for the Ravage to follow us up. They do have it ready to go. Everyone's starting to back out. Nemphy will fall. Varlix taking a good amount of damage, but where is Trixie? There he is! Catches the Ravage on 3, manages to bring down all the cores. The Sand King gets the good Burrow Strike as well. Second Ravage to be commit. VMP will take a fall to boot. Triple kill from a Doberman, and for ASC White KPG.
I fail to understand why the hell KPG even hung around there. I mean, yes, it's nice to finish off a range racks maybe, but you don't need to kill the range racks. It will fall eventually anyway, and even if it doesn't fall, you don't care about it just because, yes, nice, you have super side or just mega creeps for the range ones. It doesn't really matter that much. It is definitely not worth wiping as 5. And also, so far I have to say, Rubik hasn't been able to steal anything of substance. Just nothing, no huge steals at all.
No, not yet. They haven't. This is sort of the sufferings of the Rubik right now. But while all that was going on, the top tier 3 did fall in KPG's base, so there is opening to start bringing down these racks, specifically that range racks, which is already at half health. And this is all because Buffy is just being a, well, annoying little insect up on this top lane. He's not a rat, he's a bloody bug.
And also, 4 anchors getting themselves a Roshan now. Butterfly finished them, a Tumba Man. Nothing to stop the Roshan either. Valix finished up a Hex just before this Roshan attempt. They're just getting their next big items, and I'm just waiting for Trixie to get like a Shivas or a Hex of his own. So double Shivas or double Hex, whichever one he goes for the fights. I mean, they have a Shivas already, so I guess Hex might be better. Maybe an AC, but oh, Boofy! He finally gets caught. Can Volosha get the kill with the Ignite helping out? Well, never mind, doesn't need the Ignite, but some more damage to Legion. All well and good, but they still have the Aegis on 4 ASC. They're still just extremely stacked with farm now.
And of course, they at least managed to get some more dual damage onto that Legion. While this is all happening, of course, Sand King does have a buyback ready to go, and Matuberman will just kill everything that moves. He manages to find the gyrocopter with not even breaking a sweat. This is the scary thing now. The anti-mage is online in a big way and has that Aegis ready to go. Then again, we could be looking for a fight here. Pings go out onto the Ancients. They know this is happening. Can we see some form of fight here? Matuberman wants to fight. He really wants to fight. This guy is just overzealous, over-aggressive, and he's making it pay off.
Well, I mean, Compass Gaming, although they haven't won a fight in God knows how long, they can still win the game in the sense that they are 1 Rex ahead. Also, if they like get a huge duel onto the Tidehunter, you cannot crack and shell that off. So if they could get the kill on Tidehunter with him not having buyback, that might be the opening they're looking for, because the last 2 fights, they've just gotten wrecked by double Ravage. Without the double Ravage being there, maybe they can actually stay and fight.
Maybe. It's going to be the hard one to try to bait out, though. I mean, baiting out the Ravage is not exactly the easiest feat, and they are holding the Ravage until after the BKBs every single time.
Well, it's if they can keep doing so, good for them for sure. As epicenter for Volosha, he's gonna maybe get it. No BKB yet. He Sandstorms first. There's the Burrow Strike. BKB, well, not even used. Volosha, he's gonna just go for the duel. No idea why he didn't pop the BKB, because there's the Mana Void, and Boofy, he's the winner. Why wait with the BKB? Why not even pop it at all? I don't know. I'm just speechless.
Mid lane, it's just all falling apart. Demonic gets caught as well by Varlix and Trixie. He just falls.
He broke the Dream Coil.
This is just, unfortunately, I think KPG going on tilt. They've just had 2 very big heroes picked off across 2 lanes, and hell. Take a look at Varlix, Matuberman even. Matuberman immediately back onto that top lane, finishing off what Buffy started. Legion Commander's going to buy back into this one. They want to try to defend this, but they're already losing their racks at this rate. They need to do something, and soon. GP is trying to do what he can. In comes the BKB from Voloshka, trying to do what he can, but he manages to duel the anti-mage. Not going to be enough to get the kill, especially now the Ravage comes in. That's Ravage number 1. Ravage number 2 on the entire team. Demonic is the only one who was in his BKB, and now everyone is falling. Buy back from the Gyrocopter. He wants to get back into this one. Demonic stealing all the damage he can, but now in comes Matuberman, who didn't have any damage stolen at all. Trixie on the double. BKB in from VMP, looking to try to do something, but just going toe-to-toe with the entire lineup is not going to pay off. VMP going to get brought down by Varlex's puck, and now in comes Matuberman, beyond godlike. Game 1 to 4 ASC.
Well, with the last fight, Matuberman got the number 1 position in net worth, as an anti-mage should always have pretty much, so by the end of the game, anti-mage was the strongest.
I honestly don't know how Matuberman recovered from that one. We both saw he had, what, 4th lowest, if not 3rd lowest CS in the game at, what, 15, 20 minutes? He just recovered like mad. I mean, look at his gold per minute.
He was
after
like
that start.
4th lowest in net worth, 28 minutes in when he got his Battle Fury. 4th lowest.
And he ends with 545 gold per minute. That is nuts.
Oh,
I look forward to Game 2.
In Compass Gaming, I still have to say that pretty well done for them, although they were the underdogs coming into this. They just lacked kind of the shot calling, the teamwork, I don't know, to finish things up with the lead that they had, but definitely showing some potential. So it's a best of 3, so maybe Compass Gaming can string just a win together for Game 2. We'll see as we're going to head into that, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in, just supporting us, supporting the Join Dota League and the teams, of course. If you liked what we did, you can follow HeflaTV for more. It's HeflaTV on both Facebook and Twitter. For the casters, at Coucher for me, at Mr_Blackadder for my co-caster. And see you guys for Game 2.